As human beings, we tend to have a fascination with stories, and we'll read them to our children, to our grandchildren, and maybe we'll get as much pleasure or maybe even more than they do in the reading. But then we carry on with stories, and we watch them at the cinema, we read them in books, and we go there to be excited, to be entertained, and some of us perhaps even to be scared. But we sometimes think of them just as stories, and so they don't impact on our real lives, when in actual fact, in almost any situation that we're involved in, when there's trouble, when there's a lack of work being done, when there's a lack of progress, it's these story-type characters that are coming to the fore because they're deep in our psyche. There are three particular characters that can tend to kind of come into play. We'll have the victim, who you can tell the victim because their head's looking downwards. They're sad, they're miserable. It's all because of something else. Life is going wrong, it's not my fault, it's because of the weather, it's because of my boss, it's because of that other child over there taking something. It's not my fault. Someone's having a go at me. There's always something else or someone else to blame. But of course, if you've got a victim, you have to have a villain. And if we've got our villain here, understandably, they're evil, they're nasty, they're to blame for everything. So they're going to need a pair of horns and perhaps a pitchfork, always to blame. Now there are some people that we know of that will fall into victim mode. There's always something wrong, always someone else to blame. And some of us can actually fall quite quickly and quite easily into the villain mode. It's my fault. I've worked with a number of children over the years who believe that everything that goes wrong, whether it's in their family or in school, is actually fundamentally down to them. There's something wrong with them, when in actual fact that's not necessarily the case. But where there's a victim, where there's a villain, there has of course to be a hero. So we'll put a cape on our hero. And our hero is interested in solving things, in sorting them out, but only really in the short term. They're about short-term relief. What can they do to sort this out here and now? And again, we probably all know people around us who are the heroes, who will step in, I'll do it, I'll take care of it, I'll fix this for you, I'll put it right. And it's as if we walk around, each of us, with Velcro attached to us. As we walk around, there's a victim who's trying to attach themselves to a villain. They need somebody to blame. But they'll also need somebody to be the hero. So maybe they're trying to pull you in to play that role. Or perhaps you're a hero, you need someone to blame. Who can I be saving and who would I need to save them from? Who's the villain around here that I can look for? We can look for those roles. Now, we have this, perhaps, this could be in a work environment I put in, you probably can't see this, but E1 for employee 1, we've got E2 and M for manager, but this could equally apply for you in a group of friends, or perhaps as part of your family. So it might just be that I've got employee 1 comes to me and says, Mr. Manager, I've got a real problem. Employee 2 over here is bullying me. Employee 2 won't let me get on with my work. Employee 2, they're taking up the space, they won't give me the report or the information that I need. I need you to solve it. I need you to sort it out for me. You're my hero. And it might well be that actually I quite like that role. Here I am, I'll sort it out, don't you worry. So I go and speak to employee 2. What are you doing? Picking on poor employee 1. You need to stop doing this, you need to sort it out. Almost instantly, the roles can flip. Because now what I might have is employee 2 now becomes the victim because I've been picking on him. As far as employee 2 is concerned, it's me that's the villain. They might go to employee 1 and say, what's going on here? Please can you sort this out? Please can you work this out for me? Because the boss thinks I'm doing awful things, but actually I'm not. I need you. And we can be pulled into each of these different roles really very, very quickly. In fact, from personal experience, I've been in all three of these roles in approximately 97 seconds with a group of students. There was a time thought I was helping a student who's having a difficult time. Spent a long time setting up a special program for him. I was the hero, he was the poor victim, and I was going to help him. However, before I got to tell him what I'd done for him, he started kicking off. All sorts of trouble, all sorts of difficulties going on. And he wasn't interested in what I was trying to do. And all of a sudden, I felt as though, hang on a minute, I'm the victim. You're the villain picking on me. You're the victim. You're the person who's making my life difficult, despite what I've tried to do for you. So, quite naturally, within the space of a few more seconds, I turned into villain and I made him the victim. Right, I'll tell you what, so much for me helping you, I'm really going to make this difficult for you now. You wait to see the trouble you're in. And we can fly around these positions very, very quickly and very, very easily. But the clue is to remember that each of these positions is not real. It's not real. There are real heroes in the world, and there are real villains, and there are real victims. But 99.9% of the time, we're neither victim nor villain, hero nor victim nor villain. And it's important to remember that. And when we can remember that, and we can remember that the villain is not evil, that the victim is not helpless, and that the hero is not a rescuer, then we can snap ourselves out of the story and begin to do some really very, very useful work. So what is it we can do if we've been playing the victim or feeling ourselves to be the victim? What is it we can do to shift that? What different perspective can we perhaps take that can allow ourselves to think, actually, what can I do about this? Because when I'm in victim mode, I'm powerless. I'm giving all my power over to other people. What can I do that enables me to begin to take some control back? If I'm the villain, okay, so what is it that I'm doing wrong? But what else is it that I'm doing that's okay? Maybe it isn't all my fault. And again, if it's all my fault, I'm not achieving anything. I'm not moving forward. How do we break that? And hero, am I the only person that can help and support in this situation? The chances are that is not the case. And equally, what can I do to empower this person? What can I do to support them so that they can begin to take control of the situation and perhaps can begin to take control of their lives? When we get trapped in the various positions of what's known as the drama triangle, no work's going on, no progress is going on, no growth is going on. We're just trapped in an almost never-ending cycle of blame, of being victims, because in a sense, all three positions are victims. It's a question of them battling out who's the biggest victim of them all. When we can snap out of that, then growth is possible, then progress is possible. So I just invite you to consider in what context, in what situations in your life are you playing out any of these particular roles? What might you want to shift? What might you want to do to have a different experience? And in terms of supporting others in your life who fall into those particular roles or try to draw you into any of them, how is it you can work with them to begin to break down, to shift those positions so that they can be empowered, they can grow, and the work can get done?